And you're welcome to the AM News. Now, a group calling itself the Frafraha, New Legon, New Ashiyi and Commando Residents Association are threatening to demonstrate over the decision of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and the Animal Research Institute, the ARI, to demolish over 2,000 houses in the area. The CSIR, ARI are demolition houses of persons who have encroached lands belonging to them. In a press statement signed by leaders of the association, they described the decision by the CSIR, ARI as shocking. According to them, several petitions written to a number of stakeholders, including the President, the Speaker of Parliament, Doa Jaho, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Alhaji Inu Safusaini, Joe Otenyeje, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, the Secretary of Cabinet, the Municipal Chief Executive of Adentan, the Director of CSIR, Dr. Abdul Salifu, and the National Security Coordinator, Lieutenant Colonel Bevlo Lati, to help resolve the situation, have not yielded any positive result, hence the demonstration. They explained that the decision to demonstrate on the 13th of February is to bring to the notice of the general public, civil society organizations, the media, and the international community an action that can be catastrophic and be a threat to national security in the Adentan municipality in particular and the nation at large.
The Speaker of Parliament, Edward Doa Jaho, has directed the Committee on Works and Housing and the leadership of other relevant committees to, within a month, investigate and also report back to the House on last week's demolition exercise that took place at Acquah near Tema. Well, the Speaker gave the direction after the MP for Tema West constituency appealed to the House to intervene in the matter.
On Wednesday, February 5, the chairman of Parliament's Works and Housing Committee told Joy News the committee can only intervene in the matter if the Speaker of the House officially refers it to them. He was, however, quick to add that the MP for Tema West had promised to petition the Speaker on the matter. True to her promise, the Tema West MP on Thursday, February 6, made a statement on the floor of the House asking relevant questions about the Acquah demolition exercise.
The often asked questions when these demolitions are done is: 1, how did the residents acquire the land? 2, how did they build houses and live there for 7 to 10 years without being noticed by the TDC? 3, what steps did the TDC take in that direction?
Chairman of the Works and Housing Committee, who asked for a referral of the matter by the Speaker, asked that the leadership of the House handles the case. But the Speaker and other members of the House, including the Majority Chief Whip and the Minority Leader, disagreed.
The deficit in housing in our country is a real challenge. And because it is a real challenge, almost every one of us as a Ghanaian, your first ambition is to be able to get a shelter for you and your family.
But the issues that ensue from the demolition of structures at the Acquah are matters that should concern all of us. The Speaker, first, as the maker of the statement herself said, the manner of the demolition of the structures leaves much to be desired. People who had left for their workplaces and having to be called back by children and other dependents, that demolition was going on.
MP for Nadoli Kaleo and former Minister for Works and Housing, Alban Bagbin, who sided with the Speaker, suggested the committee be given time to investigate the matter, after which the Speaker gave his direction.
And I think that the Committee on Works and Housing should have the authority to delve into these matters and maybe come out with a report that can allow this House and government to relook at the issue of TDC and the demolition exercises that have been going all over the years. I recommend that the committee should take it up and maybe report within a matter of a month at most for the House to look at it and advise government as to the way forward.
I direct that the Select Committee on Works and Housing should be mandated to look into this matter. I will consult with the leadership and add some members from the Constitutional and legal, because there are legal issues that are likely to be raised in the process of their inquiry.
Meanwhile, the House has approved of the Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2013, which is expected to curb the increase in the number of money laundering cases in the country. In another development, the Israeli ambassador to Ghana has paid a courtesy call on the House. Her visit was to discuss the existing relationship between the Ghanaian and Israeli parliaments. The Ugandan Chief Justice is also expected to visit the House on Friday, February 7.
Now, some victims of female genital mutilation in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region have made a passionate appeal to mothers to stop the practice. According to them, apart from the stigma associated with the practice, victims also have difficulty during childbirth. They are also urging government to help educate people in rural communities about the negative effects of the practice. From Wa, here's a report by Rafiq Salam.
Though the practice of mutilating the female genitalia is not completely abolished from the custom of the people in the municipality, the practice is now done on the quiet. The communal life of people here also compounds the issues, as they are not willing to disclose areas where the practice is still rife, thus making it difficult to collate data about the act. However, some women who went through the practice a little over 3 decades ago, when they were only 7 days old, are now shying away from it. Hannah Abubakar is a student nurse at a health assistance training school. She walked me through the stigma she and her colleagues who are circumcised have endured during their school days.
Those of us that they've circumcised, we do go a lot of stigma from our colleagues. They do tease us, this person, you know, enjoy sex, because the clitoris is the most sensitive part of the female genitalia, which makes one enjoy sex most.
Hannah survived the teasing from her colleagues, but she has a major challenge on her hand now. She is pregnant and fears that she may have to deliver her baby through cesarean section, just like one of her aunties.
An auntie of mine, through her being not her clitoris not being removed well, she have gone through cesarean section for 6 good times during her delivery. And according to her, the midwife told her that it's because her clitoris was not being removed or circumcised, so that's the cause of her not giving birth all by herself.
A middle-aged market woman, Kutum Asiku, told the news team the practice is not good, citing intimacy problems in her marriage. I always have difficulties when having sex with my husband. The second thing is that anytime I am to deliver, I have to go through cesarean section, which is more painful than delivering on my own. Several attempts to seek the opinion of men about the practice and whether it influences the women they had as sexual partners were unsuccessful until the news team met Samuel Tichi, a student at the Wa campus of the University for Development Studies.
From God's own knowledge, the clitoris has a very vital role in sex. So if somebody sitting in his village decides to take it off, it's an insult to God. That's the first, and it's reduces that sexual pleasure the lady is supposed to get during sex. So I will go for the unmutilated.
The victims of the practice on this special day are launching a special appeal to mothers not to inflict the same pain on the next generation of baby girls.
We also have to remain with health, and breast and prostate cancer are the most common forms of cancer in Ghana. And that's according to the head of the surgical department of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, Professor Joe Nat Clegg-Lamptey. He says early detection, which is the surest way of arresting the situation, however, remains a challenge due to human behavior. Marian Toure has been examining the challenges associated with the detection and diagnosis of breast cancer in Ghana.
The head of Korle Bu's surgical department, Professor Joe Nat Clegg-Lamptey, explains misconceptions about cancer are a major challenge impeding the fight against the disease.
People have a lot of misconceptions about breast cancer, for example. and you try to educate them. Some of them you would get through, some you can't. But I think you can only fight ideas with ideas. What we have done in this place is that we have now had breast nurses who, that's all they do. They do breast, and they follow up the breast patients. So patients who come like that, we put them in touch with them because they need constant reassurance, constant counseling, and so on. And sometimes it's only by doing that you deal with the misconceptions. Sometimes they don't tell you why they are not coming. They may come the first day, you don't see them again.
The cost of treatment of cancers is spiraling out of control, even for high-income countries. Prevention is absolutely critical, but this has been somewhat neglected in Ghana.
So it's important to invest in preventing cancer, to invest into catching cancer early, because it's the late cancers which are more expensive or more costly to treat. If we can catch them early or even prevent them, we would actually save our people, save money for the economy. So that money can then be used for other things. But as it is now, we're actually using the money to treat people, and we can use less amount of money to actually prevent it or catch it early and spend less money on it. So the investment to cancer is needed. It's vital. Unfortunately, we've been investing money into health, but we think we have not invested enough into cancer. Perhaps we don't recognize the importance of cancer in our society, but it's increasing in number and it is becoming an increasing burden. And unless we do something about it, more and more cancers are occurring because we are living more and more like the Caucasians.
Professor Clegg Lamptey says women in their menopausal stage should do a breast exam once a month, preferably a week after their monthly period.
First of all, we say you should examine your own breast. So every girl who has a blood breast should learn how to do breast self-examination a week after the periods, because before the periods the breasts are a bit tender and so on. So a week after the periods, just examine your own breasts. From the age of 30, you should go to the hospital once a year and let the doctor also examine you. From the age of 40, ideally have mammograms every year or every 2 years.
The best way to reduce one's risk of cancer is to adapt healthy lifestyles. Marian Toure, Joy News, Accra.
Education at Nzulezu in the Jomoro district of the Western region is not the best because teachers have refused to stay in the community. Those who stay are uncomfortable living on stilts and fear they could drown if the structures collapse.
Nzulezu's entire community built on stilts. The village attracts a lot of tourists who love to cruise on their Manzuri Community River, enjoying the rare and beautiful scenery of wooden homes suspended on sticks in water. Nzulezu in Nzima language means on water. However, beneath the marvel of Nzulezu are many challenges. Pupil teachers there claim they have not been paid for 2 years. Old Nzulezu DA Primary School is the only school available in the community. The school has 3 teachers and a head teacher who are all untrained. Some classes are sometimes combined to make up for the lack of teachers and infrastructure. Nursery 1 and 2 are combined in one classroom, with class 1 and 2 also in another. Classes 3, 4, 5 and 6 are all lumped together in one classroom. Students who graduate to the junior high school have to attend JHS in the next village, Benin. The journey to Benin is an hour, which means pupils have to endure 2 hours on their Manzuri River every day to have education. I spoke to some of the teachers who are mostly SS graduates.
And it is true that the class have been combined. The problem is we lack of teachers. The teachers are not up to the numbers. That is why we've combined the classes. So the main problem is what we are lacking of teachers. That is why the classes are combined.
Okay.
We use the same water of drinking, for bathing, for cooking, for doing everything.
It affects the students, but in this situation, the children themselves have not learned.
They don't play.
They don't play because when the light came in, they were watching the video. They were watching the video, look at it. They've been killing them all the time. So when they are trying to, they don't monitor them. So don't ask them, what's your homework? Go and learn. Maybe watching a video then.
A tour guide who gave his name only as Alex explained to us that the river is one of the major factors that is stopping teachers from accepting posting to the community. Alex comes to the classroom to teach after his regular work. He pleads with government to train the pupil teachers in the community instead. He believes since they are part of the community, they will definitely return to help the young ones.
Okay, actually I'm not a teacher, but it seems the school lacks teachers. So whenever I'm free from work, I come and help the community. So I'm not part of the teachers.
We also spoke to a resident of Nzulezu.
Okay, because the teachers, the government put them to here. When they come, because of the water, some of them are afraid, so they will come for the first term. When you come back for the second term, they won't come because some of them are afraid because of the water. So.
The community, according to the assistant head teacher, lacks social infrastructure and hopes government will come to its aid.
Well, down in Accra, several major roads continue to suffer wear and tear due to the presence of heavy trucks and shoddy works by contractors. The news team's Patricia Gasu reports that such roads in Accra's industrial area is on the verge of being totally destroyed following its constant heavy use by heavy-duty trucks and the failure of authorities to deal with the current situation.
The Industrial Area Road, as its name suggests, is a major road used to convey mostly goods from the various factories in the mainly manufacturing hub to the city centres. Considering the important role this stretch of road plays in our national economy, one would expect that the road will be in the very best of shapes, if not the best. But sadly, that is not the case.
This is one of the most used roads here in Accra that have been left in a bad shape. And the question we ask is, could it be blame on the shoddy work of a contractor or the continuous plying of this road by the heavy-duty trucks?
The once smoothly tarred road is now shapeless and bumpy. Drivers have to slow down in order not to be thrown off by the many bumps created as a result of the heavy trucks. Traffic jam are a regular occurrence on this road as both commercial trucks and private vehicles have to manage the single lane available. Some truck drivers I spoke with said they are not solely to blame for the poor nature of the road.
It's not because of the big trucks, but rather the maintenance of the road is not proper. The way they do the road is not the way they're supposed to do it. If we come to a point where you see this type, they will dig and find out the solution under there before they will refill it and then put the quota. But these people, they will just come and use the pickers, just do whatever they can do and then where they go.
They are not the only ones absolving themselves of blame. Many truck drivers have disputed claims that they are responsible for the deplorable state of many roads across the country. Just last week, the Ghana Highway Authority asked truck drivers to adhere to the new axle load limit to save the nation's road network from untimely deterioration and needless rehabilitation works. But the drivers are yet to comply with the directive. But the big question is, how is the new directive being enforced to help to save the country's roads?
Now, air traffic controllers have deferred their partial withdrawal of services. In a statement, the Ghana Air Traffic Controllers Association said they have noted the deep concerns of the general public on the current safety, operational, technical and management issues confronting the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. They noted that government's attention has been drawn to the issues through the sector minister and the board of directors. They lamented the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority is faced with unprecedented challenges in the restructuring of the authority on global standards. There's crisis with Togo and Benin on the management of the upper air spaces of the three states. Ghana has not been able to attain FAA Category 1. There's also total technical confusion in the authority with its attendant safety hazards, the backlisting of Ghana registered offshore cargo planes, and many more. The association says, in view of discussions with the sector minister, the The intended partial withdrawal of air traffic services has been deferred till the end of February.
Residents of Agape, a suburb of Accra, have been thrown into a state of fear since armed robbers posted notices demanding money. Reports indicate notices ask residents to pay the sum of 500 Ghana cedis by December 30, 2013. Even though police say they have improved their presence in the community, residents complain this is not enough considering the feared terror they face.
Though they had a lot to say, the residents refused to talk to Joy News on camera for fear of being identified and victimized. Everyone the news team spoke to complained the armed robbers were terrorizing them. They suspect these robbers are within the community. Joy News also gathered the community is home to some land guards. None of the residents Joy News interacted with had the demand notice posted on their walls, but they were sure the notices were posted around the community. I've been roaming in the community for the past 2 hours, but I've not seen the notice from the armed robbers, which is probably understandable because I'm told the notices were put up somewhere in November last year. Though police say they've intensified security following the threats, I've not sighted any police patrol during the 2 hours that I've been in this community. And I'm also told the nearest police station is at Acquah, quite a distance from this community.
5 million. I want to be a 5 sister. Me journey. Me pay 2 million crowd on the mini. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a senator. So, be come never get my home.
There's all bubu dime be a ha. That's what your phone bill and a journey. I'm not trouble. I say, if you be 5 million, 5 million. See what friend on my baby. Now I show has no man to mouth. Mumma say, if you do this, I 5 million about so let's say, don't mess that have a shake cards. If you are cards in the ambition, might be on and when Niska, I'm sorry, in a bed and send baby home, high in the shoe. So, I'm with this can only be our own so much could do no harm.
Another resident, however, confirmed police patrols in the area, but said their patrols were usually during midnight. Janet Asan is a victim of recent robbery at Agape.
It's 26 now, they're 27. December ni mwai. Tiade che me ba no mo bu shop na ni. That time no much strong notice na bobo down ho no mu nyina say o mo be ba be wia o mo ba me den de o ma antwra mo ba me ba na o ma be bu ewia. Mo be 60 bus de o mo sa ko e.
Now reporting my police for more candy.
Me report here when ya police station, but o man kan hwe. O mba o man yeske bia o shop o ba ni ama no no mo sesai. Nti bambo kakra nya me na ye bambofo. Because nipa de untumi nti kakra wo se me ye ne de maye.
From all indications, the residents of Agape are not satisfied with the level of security provided for them. They would want to see more policemen protecting them and their properties.
Well, I always said drastic times need drastic measures. Well, perhaps that's what the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana seem to have done. They've increased the policy rate from 16% to 18%. The MPC's decision follows risks to exchange rate stability and inflation resulting from the continuous depreciation of the cedi. The committee says the move is to make cedi assets more attractive to investors and subsequently strengthen the Ghana cedi.
The emergency meeting by the MPC follows current domestic economic development, particularly that of the falling currency. According to the MPC, fiscal imbalances and external pressures resulted in a current account deficit of 12.3% of GDP, which worsened terms of trade, and a significant decline in net current transfer receipts. Cocoa and gold export receipts also declined by $1.3 billion, leaving the overall balance of payment deficit of $1.2 billion, the same as 2012. These developments resulted in a faster pace of depreciation in the cedi since December 2013, ending January 2014 with a 7.8% fall. The MPC has, however, been forced to tighten its monetary policies, increasing the policy rate by 200 basis points.
The uncertainties in the outlook and weakened domestic fundamentals underscore the need for continued tight fiscal and monetary policies and measures that would reduce the country's vulnerability to shocks, re-anchor inflation expectations, and sustain macroeconomic stability. Based on the evaluation, the committee is of the view that the risks to inflation and exchange rate stability are highly elevated, and therefore decided to increase the policy rate by 200 basis points to 18%.
New foreign exchange regulations allow a withdrawal of $10,000 only permitted for travel purposes outside Ghana. Analysts, however, argue the measure will deprive the system of foreign currency as hoarding is in the offing. But the MPC says the move is to make the cedi attractive.
With these policies, especially the hike in the foreign exchange, in the rate, the policy rate, is to really make those cedi assets more attractive, and therefore instead of going to put your money in buy dollars and so on, you will rather buy treasury bills, Bank of Ghana bills, and so on. Whether it leads to hoarding, maybe initially yes, but eventually as the policies gain root, when we succeed in getting people to see the profits or the profitability of investing in our cedi assets, we would see that hoarding will also go away. We will see people bringing their dollars.
He also added that the limit in foreign currency withdrawals will fight against money laundering. The MPC has meanwhile called on government to broaden the tax and export base, reduce imports and intensify efforts to block foreign exchange leakages like transfer pricing. Reporting from the Central Bank, Abigail Adumakwenchi for Joy News.
That's it for the news update we have for the morning. Of course, we'll bring you the news on the hour. That's the latest update. But in the meantime, let's just give you a recap of our top stories for the morning.
Now, some 2,000 houses in the Adentan municipality is to be demolished.
Air traffic controllers suspend partial withdrawal of services as they had early on threatened.
And victims of female genital mutilation appeal to mothers to stop the practice.
So that's it for the latest news update we have on the AM show, always live on the Joy News channel of Multi TV. Next, we bring to you the latest sports updates.
And it's brought to us courtesy Cowbell and Tigo. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. Well, for many of you who love boxing, I guess this one will come really as good news for you, especially local boxing, as Bukom Banku versus Aite Powers is no more a mirage because both pugilists have agreed on paper to face off in the ring on April 25 here in Accra. The bout, to be promoted by Accra-based Box Office Promotions, will see both boxers share a purse in excess of 40,000 Ghana cedis. Alex Ntiamwa is a promoter for the bout and has been speaking to Joy Sports. Well, so we bring you that showdown just before they arrive for that very announcement and that press conference. Bukom Banku and Aite Powers as they arrive at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Today we are here to sign the contract
for the much-awaited fight between Bukom Banku and Aite Powers. Actually, we scheduled initially the fight for 26th of April, but due to my inquiries from the National Sports Authority, there will be a match on 27th year, and it will affect the date. So we need to shift a day earlier. So we are promoting this fight on the 25th of April, which is Friday. We want to sign a contract first, and if we get the green light from any of the sanctioning body that we've written to, like the WBA, WBO, their Pan-African titles, so that we can put it online.
People know me that I'm a big popular man. The Ghana boss, I'm number one. This is my brother, Aite Powers. In my picking, I'm teaching in my area. And this time he say he go beat me. I don't understand that. Aite Powers, the boss will be small. He don't know nothing about the bossing.
Ability without mentality is barbarism. Buko Banku can think he's big, he's whatever it is. I'm going to stop Buko Banku 6th round. He said he's going to stop me 7th round, but we are not going to fight up to 7th round.
Well, that's it. I just started watching them. Isn't it interesting? But in the meantime, though, the final of the Omo Fantastic 5 Challenge will take place tomorrow at the Acquah Sports Stadium after months of intense competition amongst primary schools. The competition is a concept put together by Unilever Ghana Limited as a means of promoting the ideals of young children playing and learning, with all dirt and stains taken care of by Omo. Category manager of Unilever Ghana Limited, Sylvia Acquah, told the sports team expectations are high for the finals tomorrow.
He said, we are fully prepared and we have confidence. Our players, all of us, we have confidence. Looking at our training and everything, we are fully prepared. So we have the confidence that we are going to win this game and have the trip to travel to Brazil to watch the World Cup, which is coming on June.
I know we can take the trophy to Takrady and we can actually go to Brazil. No team, we are the unstoppable team. So I can feel that we are the winners. Absolutely, we can win because with God, all things are possible. Through our trainings, our prayers, and everything, we have our support. Tomorrow, 60 supporters will come here to support us. And I think with that, we can win the trophy and go straight to Brazil to watch the World Cup. We have trained. We train hard. We have the faithful to win, to go to Brazil.
And these young children definitely could have been plying their trade on the pitches of the Acquah Sports Stadium. But a visit to the stadium has revealed that the current facility is in a deplorable state, particularly the pitch, which has become unwatchable and also not a good surface for players to play on.
Managers of the stadium, the National Sports Authority, have come under heavy criticism lately for the deplorable nature of the edifice, which was heavily refurbished when Ghana hosted the 2010 edition of the African Cup of Nations. Most of the metal railings at the venue have rusted and is a danger when the 50,000-seater capacity stadium is heavily packed. The scoreboard, which was reported faulty some 2 years ago, is still yet to be repaired. The major talking points among the massive deterioration now is the field. For a long time, the grass was left without water, with the Sports Authority attributing the situation to the lack of water in the Osu metropolis, where the stadium is situated. After a series of reports by Joy Sports, 2 boreholes were dug to provide water to the facility. With the availability of water now, it is however disturbing how the grass is watered. The operator on duty needs to apply some pressure on the device with his foot before it starts working.
While it is working, the operator then uses his hands to direct the water to portions of the field where the water is needed. Investigations by Joy Sports have revealed managers of the field, Green Grass Technology, are allegedly paid 77,000 Ghana cedis every month for maintenance of all the 4 national stadia in Ghana. The Ministry of Youth and Sports is also to provide some percentage of the funds needed to maintain the nation's stadia, while the National Sports Authority must also generate some revenue to augment what they get from the ministry. So, where lies the problem?
Well, I guess authorities are watching, and they may do something about the current situation of not only the state of the Acquah Sports Stadium, but particularly also the pitch, which usually is used by the home team, the Accra House of Folk team. Liverpool against Arsenal, and that will be the big game for the weekend. But just from the bottom, Manchester United will go to the relegation-threatened team Fulham, Tottenham Hotspur against Everton, Swansea City, Cardiff City, Sunderland, Hull City, Southampton, Stoke City, Norwich City hosting Manchester City, who were beaten by Chelsea from the last Monday. So Newcastle United, however, will visit the Stamford Bridge, where they get to face the third team in the league, Chelsea. Now let's go to Spain, and there are some interesting fixtures for La Liga. Espanyol will play against Granada, and Real Madrid will be hosting Villarreal, and Osasuna also will be playing against Getafe, but Atletico Madrid will visit the home grounds of Almeria. The other interesting fixture will be Sevilla hosting Barcelona, who the last time out had been struggling a little bit, but I'm sure they will be fine in the course of the period. So those are the fixtures we have for La Liga for the weekend matches. The Serie A has some interesting fixtures as well. Napoli will be hosting AC Milan, who have been struggling of late, but top of the league is Juventus, who visit the home grounds of Hellas Verona. Lazio will lock horns with AS Roma. It is an interesting fixture, I guess we all have to look forward to, and those results will be brought to you, especially that very result between Inter and Sassuolo. So we'll see how that fixture goes between Inter and Sassuolo. But in the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen will visit the home grounds of Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Eintracht Frankfurt will also be hosting TSV Eindhoven, and Nuremberg will also be hosting Bayern Munich. So we have some of those other interesting fixtures there. Borussia Dortmund, who are second in the league the last time around, now are not doing too well, but according to their own standards, will visit the home grounds of Werder Bremen. So those are the matches we have, including those of Stuttgart, Schalke, Hamburg, and the other fixtures. In France, it will be interesting how PSV continue their ascent up the league, and Toulouse will face off with Saint-Etienne. Marseille, they will be hosting Bastia, and Montpellier will also be hosting Evian-Galais, as well as Sochaux visiting the home grounds of Lille, and AS Monaco. That's a big derby for Ligue 1. They will also be facing off with leaders Paris Saint-Germain. And that's all for sport. It's brought to you by Tigo and Cowbell.